Most crypto investors will purchase a token based on hype, fear of missing out, or by watching a YouTube video. In reality, that's probably the easiest way of losing your money or end up holding a bag. Before I purchase any project on crypto, I always do my due diligence and use 5 simple rules to help weed out those weak projects and help me find those better ones with bigger upside. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you my exact framework that I use to weed out those weak projects, find the asymmetrical plays, and show you some of the tools that I also use to find better tokens. The first rule that I have before investing in any crypto project is to find out if the project has some sort of utility and has some sort of revenue stream. Nowadays, any project that does not have a utility and does not have a revenue stream, in my opinion, is only destined to fail. Shibon Base is one of the projects that I have that does a really good job of this. It has an app that's used in real world applications, and the revenue that's gathered or that's gained from subscriptions to that app, part of that revenue is going to be injected into the chart. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of revenue stream, it doesn't matter how the revenue is coming in. The important thing is that there is that option for developers to have the revenue stream so that they can either market the project, develop the project even more, or have that option for doing other things with the revenue that help grow the project in the long run. The second rule that I always apply before purchasing any project is to always check tokenomics, distribution, volume, and all the metrics that tell you how healthy the project is. If a project has no volume, if a project has no locked liquidity, if the project has a very, very low market cap and no activity in terms of numbers of buys and sells, then that tells you something. If the project has a healthy volume, has a good liquidity that's locked, and has a market cap that is solid, then that gives you another clue. Another thing that you can do is always check distribution, and I always use bubble maps and other apps to see where distribution lies. Every project has a different distribution, and you can find projects that have folks with a lot of the tokens that are holding a big bag, and that could potentially just rug the project or potentially just bring the price down. Bubble Maps is a really awesome tool that you can use, and I use it very often to just check out distribution, check out clusters, and check out just what's going on with the token. The third rule that I have before purchasing any crypto project is to always find out about the developers or developer team and also the roadmap for the project. Now on your screen, you have the roadmap for Bitcoin on Virtuals, and I'm showing it to you not because this is one of my projects, because this is a really good example of what a roadmap should look like on a website for a project. This one has really clear goals, has a timeline, and has a way for you to follow how the project is going and how the project is doing. Now, when it comes to developers, I think this is one of the hardest ones because you really need to do your due diligence. You need to go in there and hopefully talk to the developer if it's possible. One of the things that I do is go into the community, get a sentiment for how people feel about the developer. If the developer is present in Telegram or on X, and it's always answering questions and being truthful about the things that they're doing. If they say they're going to do something and then they do it and the project keeps moving forward, that is a good sign. But this one is really up to you, and you really have to do a really good gut check before you dive into a project based on the developer. Now, the fourth rule that I have before purchasing any crypto project is really look at the community. And this one is also one that you can do the eye check. Maybe you don't need to do any metrics. Maybe you don't need to do any additions or subtractions in terms of numbers, but really you can just look at the X account. You can look at the Telegram, and if there's people posting, if there's people commenting about the project, if there's people creating art or creating videos or doing stuff with the project, and obviously depending on the project, you're going to see different types of engagement. But if there's engagement for the project, there's always somebody posting and always somebody chatting about it, or there's raids that are being done by the community, or even just Telegram, just very active. That's always a good sign. A strong community, it's a healthy sign of a healthy project. Satoshi is one of those projects that I think is exemplary about that. They always have posts going on in their X account, and they have high engagement numbers. That signifies to me that it's a really, really strong community, that it's always there, even in the bear market, even on red days, they're going to show up and post. Many projects have these communities. Many projects have smaller or bigger communities, but if the community is strong, that is a good sign for a project. Now, the last rule that I have before purchasing a token or crypto project is that it has to have some sort of upside. I don't want to buy any projects that are up high in terms of a market cap or close to their all-time high unless I know for certain that they might break it and go into price discovery. Now, this is the chart for Bitcoin on Base, and it's one of the projects that I have. I don't mean to just shill this, but it's a really good example of a project that it's bottoming out, and that's a really good opportunity with upside. Now, not every project that it's bottoming out, that it's at the support level, is a good investment, right? If the project's at the bottom and there's no community, there's no engagement, there's no utility, there's no upside, and there's no revenue stream, it's going to be very, very difficult. But if the project has the community, has the engagement, has the utility, has a revenue stream, and has some sort of momentum behind it, and you see that it's at the bottom at support, that is an asymmetrical opportunity right there. Now, no investment is guaranteed, but these are going to give you the bigger opportunity for multiplying your investment in the long run. There you have it. Those are the 5 simple rules that I use before purchasing crypto. And obviously there are other rules you can apply, and there are other tools that you can also use to find those projects with better upside. It's not always about picking the right one, but it's always about making better choices so you can survive for the next cycle. I'm curious about what you use, which tools you use, and which framework do you use. If you use one, leave me your comments below. I'd love to find out. And remember, always talking about crypto psychology, long-term strategy, and disciplined investing here in this channel. I'll see you in the next one. Better on base.